Hi, Gemini. This is your homework family reading. Hold on, let me adjust this. This is your homework family reading for August 1st through the 15th through the Lion's Gate. Let's see. You already know. Let me hit the bell. I don't know why. It's a thing with me. I gotta do the bell. I gotta make sure everything is all cleansed and purified. Had purification brought in. Bell just does all that. Right as I start the reading, I'd already done some meditation prior to coming into the reading and seeing what Spirit had to say. But as I enter the reading, started the video, Spirit's telling me there's either blockages or healing is being made within the solar plexus, and finding your power, finding your I can energy, that believing in yourself and I can. It's also flat out speaking to your self-esteem, which would probably also be dealing with your self-worth and your self-value. This is how you strive, how you move forward. Let me see something for a second. Something's just egging me on to check a note real fast. So let me see. Jump into my notes. Solar plexus also can deal with life, past life, present, family, friends, foes. It embodies your I know we're trying to say power. It embodies your balance, your power, and that illumination that brings you forward through emotion, digestion, the digestion system as well. Let me go back for a minute because they had pulled something else and I overlooked it in the beginning. The digestive system, the intestines, and the nervous system. Is there anything else? It may be dealing with the stomach as well. And for some of you, it will be dealing with the reproductive system as well. So it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of sacral chakra and solar plexus, truthfully, is what I'm getting out of it. And you're cleaning up some grief, sorrow, shame, sadness that has been lingering in that solar plexus and that sacral chakra, taking you from being able to create and believe in yourself to knowing that you believe in yourself, more or less, is what I'm being given. And you're going to acknowledge either blockages where you're trying to unblock, or you're acknowledging yourself coming into this power from the 1st through the 15th. For all Gemini, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Now, I want to make sure that I'm starting to say, a lot of people follow, the different tarot readings and, so to speak, or the astrology and whatnot. And when they get into the Venus ones, they're following the Venus in that sign because they're looking for love. I can guarantee you, if you are coming to me and you're looking for love because of the Venus sign, that's not what's going to show up here. At least not with me. Because Venus for me is sensitivity. It speaks to us of our emotions, our emotional depth. It's very similar to the moon, but yet different in energy. It speaks to us of our sensitivities, as in touch, smell, see, feel. It has the ability to bring in that love. Venus does, but it also can speak to you about your repressed anger. It can speak to you about feeling betrayed. So for me, Venus is not necessarily love. Venus is your sensitivities. And I want to make sure that I'm being clear for people who do follow the signs for Venus. There's a reason why I say that. If you're looking for it only for love, then that's not necessarily what's going to be coming through. You need to find another person to read for a reader, plain and simple. Because it's not the way I view it. For some of you, it's definitely going to be speaking of very sensitive energies within your communication. Very sensitive energies within your communication. And I think that's going to show itself in the astrology as well. But I'm being seen, being given like the throat energy with more or less sensitivity being brought to it. And when I went to the meditation and shamanic work for you, I'm trying to find, because Kinez came up, but I'm going to pull it from the book as soon as I locate it. Because what Spirit gives me on a shamanic level is they give me an eye, like the all-seeing eye. And they just corrected me. They use the words that I see and they highlight them and tell me what it is. They're saying the all-seeing eye, or the eye that I'm being given, is speaking of energy manifesting from the unknown in this point, in this position, that you will see it and you will actually see it being nourished, or you will be inner nourishing it from what you are viewing, from what you are seeing, that energy of that manifestation that is growing from that unknown at this time. But with the eye, right after the eye, they give me a butterfly, which to me automatically stands for birthing, like rebirth, like the butterfly does. But what I'm not sure if it's the butterfly so much or if it's the wings. Because the way that they are giving me the butterfly, outside of the way the butterfly is moving, they give me Kinez coming off of the wings. And it looks like this, Kinez does. But in the right direction, because I can't tell when you turn it around and I'm on the camera. It looks like Pac-Man, like... So, that's the way I always know Kinez is popping up, because it just reminds me of Pac-Man. They are saying you're definitely getting growth, coming into new harmony within thyself. And whenever I start speaking like that, that's them. You're coming into new harmony within thyself. You're coming into new growth, new psychic energy as well. Getting in touch more with your intuitiveness. And there's definitely change going on with that growth. But like I said, that was them. Sorry. When I get the butterfly, it's got Kinez on the end of it. Kinez speaks to us of torch, craft, cunning. It is manifest. It is the character itself. It is personality. It points to the matters of creativity and the craft. And they are saying for several of you, it's definitely point blank. It's going to be dealing with the personality and understanding what is going on here and the creativity behind the personality. Okay, and it also shows the ability it shows us our ability through our skills and our effort. Kinez speaks to us of being in balance, or the very lack of it. When you are out of balance, you're causing blockages within your cycles. There is always an important time for everything. They say all four of us, we have four. Our 4 equals our 1. Our emotional, our mental, our spiritual, and our physical, which equals 1. If one of them are out of balance, then all of you is out of balance. It's that simple. So there's time for work. There's time for play. There's time for sleep. And you need to make sure that you're getting your proper balance. Because without the balance, the creativity is not quite right. Some of you are going to be having problems with communicating, and that's going to be because of the sensitivity, because my throat's getting blocked right now. It can also speak to you of the presence of skilled craftsmen women, or even children. It is the symbol of skill itself, getting in touch with your skill, obviously. This is the principle of ignition, like start, like the start button. You know, when you're starting something, the brand new flame, because it's the torch, the craft. More or less, I'm being given the torch at the moment, and they're making me incredibly hot. So it's your inner fire coming from the depths of you, bringing from the depths of you your skills and your crafts, your analysis, to forge your own human endeavors up and out of you from your soul fire is what they're giving me at the moment. It speaks to you of creativity expressed in form. It controls us from our inspiration, our knowledge, and our capabilities by connecting with it. That in alone makes it reshape, shape, and again reshape into the present. This is transmutation through that heat or that fire. But it can deal with sexual energy or children. And when I say sexual energy or children, what I mean is your children are of you. So they are of your own fire already. So there is your passion is there because they're of you. Or it's sexual energy and it's getting into that sacral chakra, like I was saying, and it could be sexual energy, or it could be how you feel about yourself, sexual energy, because it's getting into your passion, okay? And some of you are definitely having problems expressing this. Either it's very sensitive and you're having problems expressing it, or yeah, I feel like I'm having a block in that throat chakra. Is there anything else from here that I need to get back to? For 1 second, let me just jump back. I need to tape that page down. It's trying to come right out. Well, that explains it, because it's going from the creativity and your self-esteem into your self-expression. And depending on where you believe about yourself and how you feel about yourself, coming into that I can and truthfully believing that you can be the power in your own life is going to determine how blocked or unblocked or how well you can express that communication within that throat chakra. But that's coming from that third eye will help you to see your way through that, help you to get the new vision and the wisdom of how to create your way through that. Let me go. That's just from spirit. From the 1st to the 15th, obviously the Lion's Gate is on the 8th, August 8th. You are going to have the moon in Sagittarius. Pretty much, I think it's after 4:30 p.m. And that will give it a whole different style of energy. The moon being in Sagittarius, it's going to be there with Jupiter and it's going to be there with Ceres, is bringing in another level of abundance and threefold energy and nourishment with the depths of whatever is going on for you in that house. And I'll check that in a minute. But, and the reason I'm not putting so much emphasis on the Lion's Gate at the moment is because actually of the 2 days prior to the Lion's Gate are very important. The 2 days before the Lion's Gate are very important because the moon will be traveling through Scorpio. Scorpio is incredibly intense when the moon is there. No matter what is going on, you feel it over intensely. Some of you really just need to get over being worried about speaking your truth or believing in yourself. Because, like I said, I keep being choked, so it's a blockage that some of you are going to be dealing with. Especially, and apparently they're bringing it to my attention, you're definitely going to be noticing it, most likely, on the 6th and the 7th, the 2 days before that Lion's Gate, because that moon is traveling through Scorpio. I say we feel everything to the nines when the moon is in Scorpio. If you're in a brand new relationship and everything is going wonderful, then you're like, yay, and the whole world is foo-foo and woo. You know, but if somebody just did you ugly, then you feel the betrayal. You know about the betrayal. It's in your gut. You feel the hatred. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. When the moon is in Scorpio, the emotions are felt to the nines in an incredible level of intensity. And it's coming out of us. Even if we don't mean to, it's coming out of our energy. And it's definitely going to be showing itself. For you, this is going to be showing on the 6th. You have not exactly a T-square, but you do have something that's unharmonious going on. It is coming into your second house with your the north node and with Mercury, which has not made it back into Leo yet at that time. And it's going to be Sirius stars here. So speaking of God's consciousness, it's because that's what Sirius star is known for. God's consciousness is Thor's hammer. It's the enlightened teacher on top of the north node, talking about what you need to learn in order to get it right to move forward. And your second house is speaking about your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. It is not getting along with that 5th and 6th house as the moon moves into Scorpio, which is talking about your everyday mundane tasks. I'm sorry for laughing. Almost every reading is coming up with those everyday mundane tasks and relationships in one way or another. And this means, because when I look at this energy, it's going to go straight back over to your 10th house, where Uranus is about to go retrograde, speaking to your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom. And oh no, your 12th house. So this is coming down to, mommy needs to work. This is coming down to the energies that are going to be showing themselves. Of the way I've been explaining it is, say you're a good person and you have people you love in your life and you want to help them out, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a problem when we love people so much that we forget to love ourselves. And in these routines that we've created, we don't realize that we're actually bringing harm to ourselves because we're not putting ourselves first. And what I mean is, like, maybe I go and do this for this person and I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm trying to do this for this person and I'm trying to be helpful, and then I gotta do this and I gotta do this because they're part of my day anyway, and I need to take care of this and I need to take care of this, but oh, by the way, I've got to fix this for this person. And before I know, 24 hours has gone by and all the things I wanted to do for me didn't get done. Okay, this is what I'm saying. There's something about these daily routines. There's something about the daily routines that is going into the relationship house that's actually going against your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. Yes, I love you too. And it's hiding in that 12th house. You've told yourself that this is acceptable when you know deep down it's not. There's certain things that you're not giving yourself or loving yourself right. You're not being responsible to yourself in this case, because you're trying to be a good person. You're trying to be responsible to everybody else. You're trying to love everybody else, trying to do good within those relationships. And most likely it's a situation you need to acknowledge that you need to love you a little bit more, because you're not giving yourself that proper love, which is also keeping you from standing in your power as strongly as you could, as well as the belief in yourself. Maybe you're wanting approval where you don't really need it. I'm trying to see if they're saying anything else. This is they're more or less saying you don't want this to become another regenerated cycle that's starting all over again. This is something that is showing itself at this time because it's trying to help you find the responsibilities you need to have to yourself to make the transformational healing. And it's starting to show itself right before that lion's gate so that you can figure out what those things are. Now, that was just the 6th. On the uh, 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 uh. And the 7th house also has Jupiter in it, and Sagittarius is also starting to move you across in a negative way to Neptune, which happens to be is that universal 10th house, which is talking about, your honor, your prestige, your professional career, your professional life, your financial success, your financial community, the responsibilities and the authority of that outer world versus these relationships. And are these relationships healthy for you? It's trying to show you where certain areas are not healthy and where you're still telling yourself that it is, and you're going with the same old thing and not making those changes. It's going to be bringing up things of frustration, things that are showing that they need to change, more or less. They're going to be showing up those 2 days before the Lion's Gate. You're also going to have those that moon in Scorpio is also going to be speaking to Venus and the Sun in Leo, which is your third house, which is all about that communication. This is where you're going to have problems speaking up, because it is siblings and neighbors, but it's short journeys, it's messages, it's transportation, but it's details, it's trivia, it's phone calls, it's gossip, it's text messages, it's the emails, it's your intellect, it's being able to communicate properly. And it's definitely going to be showing itself. Now, the Lion's Gate itself, the moon is going to be in Sagittarius with Ceres and with Jupiter, which is that 7th house. It's going to be definitely illuminating the right relationships versus the wrong ones. And anything you care about, you have a relationship with. I say this all the time. From your friends, your lovers, your partnerships, your spouse, your parents, your children, to your working environment, to your neighbors, to your money. If you have a problem with your money, if you have no money, you know about the relationship with the lack of that money. Anything you care about, you have a relationship with. So on this day, it should be illuminating the things that are working very well for you and the things that are working very poorly for you. The things that are going against everything that you stand for versus the things that are going towards everything you stand for. And you should definitely be seeing that, because it's coming in top of Jupiter and Ceres. Ceres is nurturing, but when she's showing you that something isn't working, she's showing you where the neglect is. She is nurturing, she is mothering, she is parenting. But when she's showing you the things that are not working for you, she's showing you where the neglect is. Now, Jupiter is magnification and abundance and higher knowledge. So in that 7th house of those relationships, it's going to be showing you exactly the truth, and the mask will come off. I mean, so to speak. It will be showing you who needs to be there and who doesn't. What are the right directions and what are the wrong ones. Pay very close attention this day, because I'm hearing details. On the 11th, you have Mercury, which is moving back into Leo. You also have Jupiter, which is going direct, and you have Uranus, which is going retrograde. So this day is going to be an incredibly sensitive day, because you have all three of these taking a move. Okay? Then you have the full moon, which is taking place on the 15th, going from Aquarius to Pisces. Let me see if there's anything else special that's getting my attention. Let's get off of the Lion's Gate. Your third house this whole time is speaking to Chiron. Chiron is your 10th house. It's speaking to the wounded healer, is speaking to your community, your groups, your friends, your wishes, your goals, your memberships, your ambitions, your liberty, your self-realization, and humanitarian interests. This is going to be speaking to you of where the wounded healer can't heal something, where are we setting the cycle all over again and we didn't realize we're starting it all over again. We're not making changes. It's going to be illuminating these friends that do and don't support you and the truth behind their ammunition. Okay, it's going to be illuminating if they need to be in your life or if you need to cut them out. Pretty plain and simple. Because if they're in the way of you achieving your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, finding your own, liberty and self-realization. If they're standing in the way and they're more projected on them and don't care about you, then they're going to be showing that. And Chiron, the wounded healer, is trying to validate that you're getting the right people in these positions. It's also standing directly across the skies in Libra from the collective consciousness. For you, that is 5. So, like I said, it's going to be your 5th house, speaking to your creative pursuit of pleasure. What do you enjoy in life? And if these things that you enjoy in life that make you who you are, that help you find your inner emotional security by being the creative person that you are, if these people in these other community, these friends, these memberships, these goals don't set up to work with you, it's illuminating the change that needs to happen, or the ones that you need to get closer with, more or less. You're going to be acknowledging that all month. Your Uranus, which is going to be going in retrograde on the 11th. But up until then, Uranus may be looking at some things from a little bit of a darker point of view. And for you, this is in your 12th house, speaking to you about your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your inventive self. Where are you not bringing it out because you're still keeping it hidden in the closet? Where are you not showing your true colors? To yourself even? Where are you still in denial about your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom? Where are you not getting in contact with that, or your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, because you're still connected with grief, sorrow, regrets, shame, possibly even prison situations, government situations? Where are your skeletons in the closet hidden, and where are they connected to those daily mundane tasks that work against you? This energy, though, is getting along wonderfully if you are healing it and actually being real with it. It is getting along wonderfully with the energies that are going on in Capricorn, and it's speaking to you about setting a new foundation, changing the rules, the walls, the boundaries, finding new limitations, and coming to a new spiritual change within the 8th house. So if you can get past your own inner secrets of self and what you're not being real with yourself about, what you're not getting to truly experience of your own authentic self, you're not allowing it to rise. If you bring that up and you're really bringing that healing forward and you're really working through it, it has the opportunity to set new foundations, new walls, new boundaries in your relationship house of what those rules are. Every relationship has a rule. And for some people, I'm being told by Spirit, for some people within this relationship, it is obviously a spousal relationship of some form, or at least one that you're dating. Because for some of you, the act of sex is a rule that needs to be set. Every relationship you have rules within it. I mean, let's face it. Usually, if a spouse's situation, or if you're living together and you're dating, usually part of the relationship is there's sex and there's bills. That would be part of the rules, getting things paid and taking care of them. I mean, part of the rules, if you have a job, is you have to go to do the job, and then you must do the job. And the second part of that is they have to pay you. I mean, there are joint finances, joint resources, and joint efforts that go into the rules of the relationships. Defining what those rules of the relationships are so transformational healing can be brought forward. And this speaks to you of being able to come into a deeper level of understanding your own self so that you can communicate what you wish for, what you desire, how you feel about yourself. You can come into a new level of understanding and how you feel about yourself. Like I said, when you feel good about yourself, there's a pep in your step. You have a little bit more, I feel good, yay. You smile more. When you're not as feeling good about yourself, you have your body is more shrugged over, you're more sad looking, you have a frown. There's a difference. And when you're feeling secure within who you are, because you're able to create who you are and bring it to the surface. Then you start believing that you can do more things. You have more power. And once you start to believe in that power, because you're finding that healing in that 12th house of what you're not connecting with, then you connect it with that universal 8th house and those relationships are going to start changing for the better. I have to move you for a second. Which one is calling me? I couldn't tell. What does Gemini need to hear to help them move forward? Okay, fine. We'll flip you over. What does Gemini need to hear? Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Gemini. What do you need to hear to help you get moving forward? Pushing upward is the very first one. Pushing upward and arousing. Actually, arousing would be the first one. This is coming into your dragon energy. This is provoking the movement, the shock and awe, the arousing thunder. This is impulsive. It can be destructive because it's also like a rebirthing. Like I said, this is speaking to the dragon energy and sharing. It is shock. It is the crisis. It is the upheaval. It is awe-inspiring, dramatic, power shifts. It is unpredictable energy, the shake-up that will wake you up. And then you are being given pushing forward, which is probably going to come right after that arousing thunder. Steady focus, gain, confidence, acceptance, challenges, a promotion, receiving, recognition. This is also to give away so that you can penetrate. This is receptive energy, yielding, supportive, intuitive. I couldn't read my own handwriting there. This is the womb. This is inside of the belly. This is like the seed that is being planted. This is penetrating, influence, and dispersing is the first things that they're saying. So it's like they said, the shake that will wake you up, the shock that will wake you up to start moving you in the right way to plant the brand new seed is the first thing that they are giving you. The taming power of the small, self-resistance, self-resistant, sufficiency, careful preparations, resourcefulness, mirror independence, and adaptability. This speaks to us of penetrating, influencing, and dispersing. It is the transformation of the death, of letting go of something, so that creative authority and power and strength can bring the new inspiration. It is the creative power of creating. So this is talking about a full flip in some direction. That's going to bring you to happiness if you are listening to yourself. If you're listening to your higher self, you're following your intuition, you're listening to your gut feeling. And when I say gut feeling, a lot of us are still learning how to really trust like that. I always say there's nothing wrong with being an empath. And I say it this way because a medium cannot survive. A medium cannot be a medium if they did not start out as an empath. An empath grows and grows and matures and grows and eventually grows into the medium. The medium has to learn how to mature with that growth. And this is like a thing that I'm speaking of right here. This is saying if you are working with the depth, you're working with the truth, you're working with your hidden secrets, you're really working with trusting your gut and your intuition, then you'll move forward. But you have to learn how to understand what the gut is telling you. Sometimes the gut is telling us that we're afraid of something. And we usually assume it's that. But sometimes the gut's telling us, oh, I might actually be strong enough. I might actually be able to do this. Well, if I can, then what's next? And that's a different kind of fear. That's fear that is keeping you from moving forward versus your guide, your gut feeling saying, no, this is a bad decision. Don't do this. You have to learn to read the difference of being intimidated by being able to actually move forward versus very bad move. Okay? Because they are saying if you trust yourself and you move through this energy, it's going to bring a joyous happiness, delight, interactions, and open communication, goodwill, friendly precautions, and self-expression. It is pleasurable and sexual energy as well. It speaks to us of expressing your youth and your flesh. So this is saying you'll come into a whole new feeling about yourself, whole new feeling about your sexuality, about that I can and that sacral chakra energy. This will bring that healing forward, but only if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing by working through that 12th house and those relationship areas, by coming to know yourself on a more deeper level of where you've been hiding yourself from yourself, and then moving forward. Ah, that's why you were upside down. I was like, why am I getting stuff from you right off the bat? I do love my cards. Sometimes they know me so well that they're like, no, this is wrong before we even start, fix me. What is the energy Gemini needs to be aware of? It came out before I even asked, so I'm not taking it. Some of you are afraid you're going to be pushed back and you're not going to be able to move forward. Mars. This is coming into your own power. Mars is your passion, your action, your aggression. It is your sexual energy, but it's also your warrior, your inner SWAT team. This is when you're okay, when I'm being given Pan right now. Like Pan, the horned god. When you feel good enough about yourself, you can flaunt it. Just enough to be able to be the warrior, to know that you're there, to know that you're capable of it. Doesn't have to be an aggressive action. It can be, because it's passion, action, aggression, fire. It is fire. But when you feel good enough to flaunt your stuff, to be like, yeah, that's me, what you gonna do about it? Then you're coming into your power. And then where you choose to take that power from there is another story. And this is saying some of you are afraid to come into your power. You're still trying to create balance. Some of you are still trying to create balance and trying to find justice within situations that there is no justice. And the reason I'm putting it this way is because I was asking what you need to be aware of. What's the problem here? And if they're giving me this is creating harmony. I see Libra as the need to create harmony and balance. Or at least it's looking for how to create harmony and balance. And if it's coming with that other energy, you're trying to create harmony and balance in yourself, which is what you need to do, or the situation, but you're doing it in a way that's keeping you from being able to move forward. I feel like you're trying to create justice where it's not meant to be. It needs to have like those last cards were saying, there needs to be the death so the rebirth can take place. You need to let it go. Let go and surrender what's not serving you so it can move forward. Because this is exactly what, like I said, they're speaking to you of what the challenge is. Aries is trying something new. It's a brand new beginning. It's a brand new place. It's also me first energy. You're afraid of you first. You're afraid of taking that chance to move yourself forward and have that opportunity. You're about to do a cycle again if you do not make the change. Gemini, this is you, is what they're saying. This is you. Gemini, I see you guys as Jekyll and Hyde, and there's a reason. Jekyll and Hyde is the twins within ourself. It's the positive and the negative, but the way Spirit explains it to me is not so much the positive and the negative, or the soul and the ego. It is full-on emotions. Everything that is emotions. Emotions have no right or wrong. Emotions are simply what they are. They are how you feel. They do not have right or wrong. The human being does. One is emotions and the truth and the fact of what they are. Then what we choose to do with them is another subject. This is why the twins are so off the chain with you don't know who's coming and going, because they're Jekyll and Hyde. But it's not positive or negative. It's emotions versus what decision will you make. And only you can make that decision. Is there anything else here? I'm not taking that. I think it fell. Alright. I was supposed to take it. You are getting Moon and Scorpio. What did I say in the beginning? The Moon will be traveling through Scorpio on the 6th, the 7th, and the beginning of the 8th of the Lionsgate. Pay attention to what you are being given that day. Pay attention to your emotions that are coming in on that day. Pay attention to the depths and the truth, because the Moon is our darker side of ourself. It is our depths of ourself. It is our hidden self. It is our unconscious energies, and they're going to be showing themselves through Scorpio. And Scorpio is all about birth, death, rebirth, and the mystery of the change of life. Give the mystery of the change of life a chance by listening to the messages you receive on those 3 days. Well, they're not going to tarot at all for you. They're saying it's not the right time to be standing still. Ground yourself, yes. Standing still and making no decisions is not the right thing. Golden Orange Dragon. Expand your light and your ascension. Be a peaceful warrior. Can't say it. Be a peaceful warrior. Yeah, be a peaceful warrior. I'm done. Help those in need. Remember your magnificence. This is telling you to rise above. This is what this is telling you about. You can always help others, but you've got to make sure that you're prepared to help others. Like I was saying, this is telling you to rise above and know the truth. Expand your light and ascension. What else? Okay, I'm not taking like 6 of you. Okay. Source Dragon attunes you to your infinite. Be still, be silent. Magic can happen. Be in the moment. This is telling you, don't be so involved that you're not involved. We get so caught up in everything that we're part of everything, and before we know it, the big picture flew by. Be still, pay attention, listen to everything that is coming for you, and there's answers there. Blue Dragon from Pleiades prepares you to accept source healing. Accepts the heart activation, gives and receives heart healing. So this is that 12th house that I was talking about. This is saying that you're going to be moving forward, that you are getting, source energy coming in, that you are about to ascend. But the only way you're not is if you stay in the same cycle because you're afraid to make changes. Now tarot's ready to come out. Tell Gemini what else they need to know. Right off the bat. You having the Ten of Wands is the first thing out. Look at me, I'm dropping it. Ten of Wands is the very first thing out. Burdened by its own beast. Fears drive into shadow. This is being weighed down. I mean, it's like, look, I mean, he's got the shadow on his back. He's holding everything else. He's not even going up a hill. He just barely can walk. He's barely keeping himself together. I mean, even the hair doesn't even look like hair. I mean, look at it. It looks all cloudy of lines. I mean, he just looks like he's pulled down. This is a Saturn and Sagittarius. This is trying to make rules, walls, and boundaries and freedom where freedom needs to be. You need to be able to be that butterfly and bloom. And I know butterflies don't bloom, but you need to be able to bloom. You need to be able to spread your wings. Why aren't you spreading your wings, is what they are saying. The Tower. You are getting the Tower. It is time for the destruction to happen so a new construction can. It warns you also of your own human pride and humility. The Tower does. This is coming into a new level of liberation that you have to allow to happen. This is a very good reading. This is actually trying to move you forward, and they're doing it